everybody, welcome to week 7 of online learning. This week we are going to be talking about lines of best fit for our scatter plots. So a line of best fit has to follow these characteristics. It has to show the pattern of the points. It has to follow the slope of the data and go through the center space. So the little star on the side, it just gives you a highlight. You want to be parallel to the points and go through the center. So what that means is you have to follow that slope just like this example in front of us does. And you want roughly the same number of points above the line as there are below the line. That's what it means by go through the center space of the points. So these are some example of bad lines of fit. So they don't follow the rules. So this first one here, the line cuts the points in half, but it doesn't follow the slope. If you count up these little dots here, they would be the same to the left and to the right of that line. But as you can see, it goes up and down, and our data does not. For B, the line goes through the middle of the points, but it doesn't follow the slope of the line. So it cuts through the middle in a different way. It doesn't represent the slope. For C, it follows the slope, but it doesn't go through the middle of the point. So there's not roughly the same above and below that line. And then D is a good example of what a best fit line should look like. So these three above are bad examples because they don't follow those rules. So as long as it follows those rules, it is a good example of best fit line. So that's what you're going to be asked to do this week. Determine whether a line is a best fit line. There's also going to be another type of problem. So you might also see a graph that looks like this. Now this graph has no association. My data doesn't have a pattern. So this line that I drew would not be a line of best fit. In fact, there is no line of best fit for data that has no association. All right. So once you have a line of best fit, you can see what points the line passes through. Once we have the points the line passes through, you're able to find your slope. So this is an example. I'm telling you that the line of best fit passes through the points 130 and 150. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this information and find the equation of the best fit line. This is going to be a bit of a review. You guys have done this in the past, but just in case you forget it, let's run through it. So the first thing I need to do is calculate my slope. So that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is my x1, y1, x2, y2. So now let's plug those in. Y2 is 150 minus 30 divided by x2 is 5 minus 1. That gives me 120 over 4. And 120 divided by 4 is going to equal 30. So M equals 30. Now remember, M is slope. M means slope, so M is 30. So now that we have our slope, we now have 2 points to use and our slope. So we can continue and find the line of best fit. So to find the line of best fit, I need to use the equation of a line. Y equals mx plus b. And now I'm going to plug in my numbers. So I get to choose what point I want to use. So I'm going to use 130 and then my slope. So my y value is 30, so I'm going to put 30. My slope is 30. Oops. My x is 1, so times 1 plus b. So that would be 30 equals 30 plus b. You would subtract 30 from both sides to get b by itself, but 30 minus 30 is just 0, so b is going to equal 0 in this case. So for this one, our y-intercept, which remember is that b, is 0. But that's not always going to be the case. So this is how you find your b. So our equation, when we write it out, would be y equals 30x plus 0. And that 0 is not necessary, but it's okay if it's there. I could also write it as y equals 30x. So that's it for this week. You guys are going to be learning about best fit lines, and then this is just a review of how to solve for the equation of a line when using 2 points from our best fit line. So the secret word for this week is Missy, and that's because it's the name of my puppy, my little chocolate lab. I'll share a photo with you guys on Monday. Leave a message on Google Classroom if you have any questions.